Have you ever explained something to someone and they were impressed? And instead of accepting it, you thought, but that's obvious. Anyone would know that. I don't know. Maybe. But what if it wasn't obvious? What if it wasn't just anyone? There's something that happens with a certain type of person. They learn fast. They connect ideas that don't seem related at all. They understand concepts the first time they hear them. They ask questions other people didn't even think to ask. But when someone says, "Wow, you're really smart," they deflect, laugh it off, say it's nothing. No, I'm just curious. And they believe that. Maybe you recognize yourself here. Maybe you'll reach the end and think of someone you know. Or maybe you'll get to the end and realize something you've never stopped to notice before. Let me describe a scene for you. You're in a conversation. Could be at work, in a meeting, with friends, it doesn't matter. Someone brings something up. A problem, a complicated situation, something everyone's trying to figure out. And then, your brain goes. It's not effort. It's not you forcing yourself to focus. It's almost automatic. You start connecting things. You remember something you read months ago. You notice a pattern no one mentioned. And suddenly the answer shows up clear, simple, kind of obvious to you. You speak. The room pauses. Someone says, "How did you even think of that?" And for some reason, you don't know what to do with it. You laugh. Look away. Say it's nothing. Bet you were just paying attention. That anyone would have reached the same conclusion, like, seriously. But while you're saying that, there's a quiet voice in the back asking something different. Wait, why do I feel like this? Because it's not the first time this happens. In fact, it happens all the time. You understand things quickly and assume it's because they're easy. You make connections and assume they're obvious. You learn and assume anyone would learn the same way. It's always the same pattern, and there's another moment, quieter than this one. You're alone, reading, watching something, listening to a conversation, and your brain starts pulling threads. It starts asking questions that weren't asked. It starts seeing angles that weren't in the text, the video, the conversation, and you don't even notice you're doing it. It's like, I don't even notice. It feels like my brain just goes there. Toward curiosity, toward depth, toward really wanting to understand, not just skim the surface. And you grew up thinking that was just the way you are. A habit, just a personality trait. You never stopped to consider that maybe it was something else. You're not alone in this. There's a type of person who lives exactly like this. And it's more common than it seems. People who grew up hearing, "You're hardworking," but never "You're smart." People who got good grades and credited it to luck or to cramming the night before. People who, when they got something right, assumed the question was easy. And when they got it wrong, it confirmed what they already suspected. Am I the only one who does this? No, definitely not. This pattern has a name in psychology. But it's not about the name, it's about what it does to you on the inside. It makes you spend years being the person who understands quickly, without ever believing that means anything. It makes you help everyone solve problems, and still walk away thinking you didn't contribute anything special. It makes you learn complex things easily, and conclude that the things were simple, not that you're capable, every single time. And the quietest part of all this, you don't talk about it. Because talking about it would feel like arrogance. And you're sure you're not arrogant, you genuinely don't believe you're smart. I guess that's it. Now let me ask you something different. What do you think intelligence looks like? You probably have an image in your head. Someone serious, formal, uses big words, solves complicated equations, has degrees on the wall and speaks like a textbook. And then you compare yourself to that image, and you don't fit. So you conclude, it's not intelligence. It's just curiosity. But here's the thing no one told you. Curiosity isn't the opposite of intelligence. Curiosity is its engine. People who ask the right questions, who connect ideas from different fields, who learn quickly and want to understand the why behind things, are not people who are intelligent despite their curiosity. They are people who express intelligence through it. And for some reason, you've spent your entire life using exactly that and calling it something else. I don't know if this makes sense, but it does. It makes a lot of sense. It's just easier to believe that it doesn't. So what's really going on here? Why does someone who clearly thinks well struggle to believe that they do? It's not low self-esteem. It's not false modesty. It's not performance. It's something much quieter than that. When you learn something easily, your brain doesn't register effort. And we've been taught since we were kids that achievement has to cost something. That if it was easy, it wasn't worth as much. That merit comes from sacrifice, difficulty, effort. So when something comes naturally to you, you automatically disqualify it. If it was easy for me, it must be easy for everyone. But it's not. What's actually happening is that your mind has already processed things on levels other people haven't even realized exist. You didn't feel the effort because your brain was already equipped for it. Like a musician who doesn't try to hear a wrong note, they just hear it. Their ear has been trained. The perception is already there. With you, it's the same. But instead of recognizing that as ability, you look at the ease and think, proof that it's nothing special. And then another mechanism kicks in. When you make a good connection or understand something quickly, you don't think I did that. You think that was obvious. You take the credit away from yourself and give it to the simplicity of the thing, again and again. It's a pattern, automatic, something that built itself over time without you noticing. And for some reason, it always finds a new explanation to convince you it wasn't you. It was luck. It was timing. It was because the question was easy. It was because anyone would have gotten there. Every time, everyone except you. But there's a deeper layer to all of this. And it's not really about intelligence, not directly. It's about what happens inside you when you spend years not recognizing something that is yours. Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where you had an idea? A good idea, but stayed quiet? Not because you didn't want to speak, but because you thought, someone has probably already thought of this. It's probably obvious. I'll say it, and they'll realize it's nothing. So you stayed quiet, and 5 minutes later, someone said exactly what you were going to say, and everyone reacted well. Everyone found it interesting, and you just sat there in silence with a strange feeling that's hard to name. It's not anger. It's not exactly regret. It's like a reversed confirmation. I knew it. I had that. And I let it pass. And the worst part isn't missing the moment. The worst part is the thought that comes after. Why didn't I say it? No, wait. You didn't even say it. And you still regret it. You regret doubting yourself. But you wouldn't have spoken anyway because the doubt always feels bigger than the idea. It doesn't make sense. But I still feel it. And there's another moment, even more intimate than that. It's when someone genuinely compliments you. Not a casual compliment. A real one. When someone stops, looks at you, and says you're intelligent, that they admire the way you think. And you can't receive it. It's not humility. It's almost physical discomfort. Like those words don't have an address. Like they arrive to you and find no one there to receive them. You deflect. Say thanks quickly. Change the subject. And then you regret it immediately. Not for deflecting, but for not being able to simply accept it. Because somewhere, very quietly, you wanted to believe it. You wanted it to be true. But there's a voice that's faster than the compliment. It got there first. It already said, that's not really true. They don't know you well enough. If they did, they wouldn't say that. And you believe that voice. Every single time. Because it's been there longer. It showed up before any compliment. Before any achievement. It built itself in every moment you learned something easily and decided that meant weakness. Every time you made a connection and called it luck. Every time someone was impressed and you thought they were exaggerating. You know when you just stop trying to convince yourself otherwise? That's when that voice becomes truth. Not because it is true, but because you stopped questioning it. And the heaviest part of all of this isn't the doubt itself. It's how lonely it is, because you don't talk about it. How would you even say it? I think I'm dumb, but people think I'm smart? It sounds contradictory. It sounds trivial. It sounds like something someone says just to get attention. So you carry it quietly. And you keep living with this feeling of always being one step behind a version of yourself that everyone else can see. Except you. So let me tell you something. That voice that shows up first, the one that disqualifies, that deflects, that convinces you you're nothing special. It's not the truth. It's a habit. An old, well-trained habit that learned how to disguise itself as humility, that learned how to look like realism, that learned how to sound like common sense. But a habit is not your identity. And here's the point that changes everything. Intelligence is not what you feel when you learn. It's what happens when you learn, and you learn fast. You connect, you question. You go deep while everyone else stays on the surface. That's not curiosity instead of intelligence. That's curiosity as intelligence. The difference between you and someone who sees themselves as intelligent isn't ability. It's recognition. And for some reason, you've never given yourself that recognition. I guess that's it. Maybe it's time to rethink this. You spent this entire video recognizing things in yourself. I know you did. Because this kind of person, the one who learns fast, connects easily, and still doubts, that person pays attention. They always do. And maybe that's exactly what you needed to hear today. Not that you're a genius. Not that you're above everyone else. Just that what you call curiosity might have another name. And maybe that name is more yours than you're ready to accept yet. I don't know. Maybe. Tell me in the comments. Do you do this too? Do you downplay what comes easily to you? Do you assume anyone would reach the same conclusion? Tell me if this is just me, or if you do this too. Because I have a feeling you're going to be surprised by how many people say the exact same thing. See you.